Chef Will Gilson is a 13th generation New Englander who started cooking in his family restaurant when he was still in high school. Now he is the chef and owner of Puritan and Company in Cambridge, Massachusetts, named one of the last year's top 50 new restaurants by Bon Appetit magazine.
He was a semifinalist for the James Beard Foundation's Rising Star Chef of the Year and was also named a Rising Star by Star Chefs. Chef Will Gilson, welcome to the dish.
Thank you for having me.
And you've got, I'm gravitating immediately to the donuts because nobody has brought those to us in quite a long time.
The great thing about a donut is you can start the day with it and end the day with it, and it's just the same. So,
Walk us through what you've brought here, though.
Summertime, I mean, today is the first day of summer. It's the solstice. It's like one of my favorite times of year to cook. So what we've got is some lamb chops right here, just a nice herb marinade on them, some smashed fingerling potatoes, broccoli rabe, one of my favorite greens. We've just tossed with some toasted spices and some yogurt, and then everybody's favorite sans rat ratatouille.
Now, I'm not trying to, call Anthony out, but he had a sip of this cocktail before we started because it looked so good.
It looks so good.
What are we drinking?
So this is called the Farmer's Son. I grew up on a farm, and so we have this cocktail on the menu at the restaurant called the Farmer's Son. Also, one of my favorite things is Pimm's. Spent a lot of time in England, and summertime Pimm's cups, cucumber, they go together so well.
What started you in cooking, Will?
I spent a lot of time traveling with my folks when I was a kid, and we had the herb farm, which then subsequently turned into a vegetable farm after that. And it was always kind of a part of my background, and I always wanted to know what was going on behind those, double doors of the kitchen, and now I know all too well. So once we kind of got into the farming world, it kind of carried over into the cooking world.
So many chefs that we have on the dish talk about farm-to-table cooking, but you have such a unique perspective in that you really started on a farm. Your father is a farmer, isn't he?
Yeah, we always joke at the restaurant that, there's farm-to-table, and then we have a farm, and we have tables. So you can extrapolate what you want from that. It isn't really trendy. It's more of actually kind of a way of thinking. I mean, our farm is about 45 minutes outside of the city of Boston, and we get, as many things as we can off the farm during that season. And so it really becomes kind of the background of how we cook.
You are a true Massachusetts native, aren't you?
I am.
You can trace your roots all the way back to what, John and Priscilla Alden?
Yeah.
Mayflower?
There's about 9 of them that I think. It was a small, it gets lonely in the winter times in Plymouth. So about 9 of us actually all kind of, back to the roots.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit about that, though. I mean, has any of that influenced your cooking? Because to come from such a rich historical background.
Yeah, I mean, the food then was not terribly great. So we've been able to obviously kind of adapt it. But one of the spirits of Puritan and Company and the food that we serve there is trying to kind of pay homage to the roots of New England. And whether it's the fact that, there were ships coming through that, were doing the molasses trade and rum or salt cod or any of the things that became the roots of the ingredients of New England and what our regional food is what we really like to champion at the restaurant.
The Boston restaurant scene is just exploding. I mean, how do you set yourself apart when you're opening a restaurant?
I think that one of the trends we're seeing with a lot of people these days is that they're looking for fast, cheaper food. I mean, I know that that's so funny that that's fast food and we're getting away from that with slow food, but hospitality gets kind of looked over a lot of the time, and so we put a lot of emphasis on once you're in our doors feeling like you're taken care of, feeling like you want to come back, you want to be there for a special event, or you want to just pony up to the bar and have a cocktail like this one and be able to enjoy yourself.
Now, I want to ask you about some photos that we dug up of you and some friends, because as one would naturally think, you have some very famous chef friends.
We like to ride together in a circle, and a lot of...
Whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that whole thing about the Google licensing of being able to remove your pictures from the internet had come about, but some of these have not made their way off of the internet. No, we had a lot of fun. I mean, there were a lot of things that we do for charitable organizations, and some of them try to drive up, whether it's on a YouTube video or try to get a little bit of buzz going for it. We did some shock value type things to try to get that going and also have some fun with it. And you shouldn't let me on Amazon if I've had a couple drinks either.
When did you, I mean, you talk about where your fascination from cooking came from. When did you know that you'd fallen in love with it?
I think it's still, it's a love-hate relationship. I mean, anything with being in something that you love is that it demands so much of you, but it's also what defines you. And I think, there was a moment where, I had been working, on the farm, and I realized I didn't want to play in the dirt anymore. I didn't want to be, working in a greenhouse. I wanted to be working, with food and be able to have that instant gratification. A plant takes a long time to grow, but you can make one dish of food and serve it to someone like yourself, and you can enjoy it. And then at that point, you feel like you've really done something that just right away you have that reaction.
Well, speaking of instant gratification, I know so many people know you as the master of the pop-up restaurant. Right. Do you miss that at all?
No. Now that I have a place that I don't have to move stuff from point A to point B all the time, we get a chance to focus more on what we actually do inside the house, and we have a team that can work on its consistency. But pop-ups were fun, and it was during a time when there really wasn't that much going on in Boston with pop-ups. So it was a way to get people excited about what was next, and for me to get myself excited about what I was going to do next as well.
We're both excited to try this donut.
I think you have to.
Before I do that, I want to hand you this dish.
Oh, great.
Get your signature on it and ask you if you could have this meal with any person, past or present. Who would that person be?
I mean, when my restaurant's set in Cambridge, it's definitely Julia Child. I mean, I'd love to be able to sit, at a table with her and have her be able to, see what we're doing now, and hopefully just have her kind of make a little quirk, and we can crack a bottle of wine together. That'd be great.
She's on my list too.
She gets the most votes over the years,
Yeah.
I think, at this table.
Chef Will Gilson, thank you so much.